Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Aynesworth. We're going to get into a drill which I call fraction basics in integers here. This is going to help you through the Unit 2 here and Chapter 3 here in Integrated 1. So have it side by side after we do this with your notes and use it when we solve equations through Chapter 3. Okay? We're going to start off with number 1 here. And I'm going to try to obviously do this in a non-traditional way, help you speed things up, help you think about it a different way without using all fancy techniques like common denominators and everything. So be open-minded here. Step it out. In fact, let's write that down. Make sure you step it out and take really good notes and add in all my key points, okay? Now what I want to do is show you a new technique, so have an open mind. Here we go. Instead, we're going to take 12 minus 3 and a 6 this way. We're going to take 12 minus 3 minus 1 6. We're going to have to subtract the 3 and the 1 6. From left to right, we have 12 minus 3 is 9, but you still have to subtract a 6 here. All right, so what you got to do is instead of approaching it using common denominators and borrowing from the 9 and making that 8 and 6 6 like you were taught in grade school, what we're going to do is think real simple here. Okay, we're going to take a little bit away from 9, and doing so, it's going to drop us down a little bit. If you have 9 take away 1 6, all right, you can't have 9. Come on. You can't have 9 anymore. You got to have a little bit under 9. So what you're going to see me do is write down 8 here in a second here once my computer gets in action. Come on. All right, sorry about that little interruption here. When you take 1 6 away from 9, you can't have 9 anymore. You start off with 9 whole pizzas, take away a little bit from one of them, you have 8 in some fraction. So I'm going to write 8 here. And I want you to think real simple here. You need to subtract one part out of 6. It's like you're eating pizzas. You divide the pizza up into 6 equal pieces. You subtract or eat one slice out of 6. Then 5 slices out of 6 remain. All right? So if you start off with 9, take away a little bit, you end up with 8 in a fraction. And to figure out the fraction, you just think pieces or parts. You subtract or take away one part out of 6. All right? 6 minus 1 is 5, obviously. So you have 5 out of 6 remaining. And notice that I stepped it out from top down, okay? Step 1, step 2, step 3. We're going to approach the first 3 problems like that. For number 2 here, we're going to take 19, subtract 3, subtract 5 sevenths, okay? From left to right, we have 19 minus 3, which is 16. We still have to subtract 5 sevenths here, which means we don't have 16 anymore. We have 15 in a fraction, all right? And if you take away 5 parts out of 7, then 7 minus 5 is obviously 2. You have 2 parts out of 7 remaining. Once again, step it out. Step 1, 2, 3. From left to right, 19 minus 3 is 16. 16 take away 5 sevenths means you're under 16, so I put down 15, just 1 less. All right? And if you subtract 5 parts out of 7, then 2 remain. That's how simple it is. You don't have to worry about common denominators or anything. Okay? Totally different than how you were taught in grade school. Okay, on the next one here, we got 7 minus 2 and 5 elevenths. You got to subtract the 2 and subtract the 5 elevenths. 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 minus 5 elevenths brings you under 5, so put down 4. If you take away 5 away from 11, or 11 minus 5, you have 6 remaining out of 11. So 4 and 6 elevenths. Once again, step it out, top down. Okay, step 1, 2, 3. And take really good notes. Step it out. Don't skip anything because we're going to drill this in the future and you're going to get really good at it. And in the future, not now, but in the future, you're going to be able to get from here to the answer real quickly. And once again, I'm going to show you non-traditional techniques, ways that you haven't seen before, like this one here. In grade school, you were taught to make 3 and a 6 improper, then multiply, and then whatever you get, take it to the side and divide. It takes way too darn long. Okay, here's another way. All right, so here's the next group of problems here. What I want you guys to do is multiply or distribute the 5 through. 5 times 3, 15. 5 times 1, 6. 5 times 1 is 5. Divided by 6 is 5, 6. Done. You distribute through. Multiply both. Okay? Multiply both terms. Okay, I'm talking about the whole number and the fraction. That's all you do. All right? 7 times 2, 14. 7 times 1/3 is 7/3. Multiply both terms. Well, then you got to say, okay, 7/3, what's this? Okay, that's improper. So what you have to do is you have to convert to mixed in your mind. So how many times is 3 divided into 7? And you should say 2 times with 1 remaining, because 2 times 3 is 6, so we're short by 1, so 1's remaining. 7 divided by 3 is 2, okay, with that 1 remaining. So 2 and 1/3. Well, you have to add the 14 to it. All right, this is 14 and 7/3, so 14 plus 2 and 1/3. You have to add the whole parts here. So 14 and 2 is 16, 16 and 1/3. This part right here, hopefully we do in our head. This part in your head, if possible. Okay, it's a mental step. So you take 3 into 7, that's 2 1/3. Add it mentally to 14 to get 16 and 1/3. And that's how you can do this, all right, if you end up with an improper fraction. Likewise, on number 6, we got 8 times 7, 56. 8 times 3, 24/5. All right, but what is 24/5? 5 divides into 24 4 times with 4 remaining, so 4 and 4/5. You got to add these two. So 56 and 4, 60 and 4/5. Once again, this right here, hopefully most of you are going to be doing mentally here. All right, add that to the whole part, you get 60 and 4/5. Way faster than the way you were taught in grade school. Okay, next group of problems. These right here come into play all the time when you solve equations, and we need to get really good at it. So what I want you to do is write down add the opposite. Get your red pen out. Add the opposite. Okay. Now, the opposite of A minus B equals A plus a negative B. Okay, you got to take the opposite of the second term and add it. That's how you convert subtraction problems to addition problems. So -3, okay, -3 plus now the opposite of -8, which is +8. That's why you see your teachers do this. They cancel out the negatives here. When you see that double negative, okay, you add the opposite. So now you're looking at, you get -3 plus 8, which is the same thing as 8 minus 3, which is 5. You have more positives, so the answer is positive. Okay, and if they're different sign, you subtract. 8 minus 3 is 5. Once again, on this one here, you want to add the opposite. So add the opposite of a -12. So add 12. -5 plus 12. So -5 plus the 12. You have more positive here. 12 minus 5 is 7. Okay? And so here, similar thing. You want to add the opposite. So add the opposite right here. Okay, you have -7 plus the 15. That's your step. You have more positive. 15 minus 7 is 8. So you have 8 here. That's the first skill. Now, when you're adding negatives, we have a negative plus a negative. Well, what's that? So a negative plus a negative. Well, that equals a bigger negative. The reason why is because like a debt plus a debt equals a bigger debt. Debt plus a debt. Well, everybody knows with money that it gives you a big debt here, guys. And that's why a negative plus a negative is a bigger negative. Okay, so if you owe somebody 3 and you owe somebody 12, then you owe somebody 15. All right, so you get a -15 here. A negative plus a negative is a bigger negative. Excuse me. -5 plus -7. You owe 5, and then you owe 7, you owe 12 in all. And then this one here, you owe 13, you owe 12, you owe 25. And whenever you owe, that's a negative. All right, a debt plus a debt gives you a bigger debt. When you combine negatives, you get a bigger negative. That's what I'm talking about. Down here, we're going to add the opposite again. Add the opposite again. Okay, so you cancel out the negatives right here. You have 8 plus 14, or 22. Okay, you just got to get used to this here. 13 plus 9, 22 again. Okay, different numbers, of course. All right, 24 plus the opposite of -4 is 24 plus 4, or 28. Add the opposite. All right, keep that in mind. All right, now let's learn something new here. Some, or a lot of people actually, have difficulty adding or subtracting fractions. I'm going to change this one here to plus. So fix this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a cool technique called the three-product rule used for adding and subtracting fractions, and it goes like this. A divided by B, and write this down, plus C divided by D is going to be equal to